Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today, I want you to take a deep breath and remind yourself of one simple truth. You were not born to merely survive, you were born to shine. When life pushes you down, when people tell you you can't, and when the world throws obstacles in your path, that is when you must remember three powerful words: focus, grow, and win. Focus is not just about seeing what's in front of you. It's about having the clarity to know what truly matters. It's easy to get distracted by noise, by comparison, by fear. But when you focus on your purpose, your passion, and your path, nothing can stop you. There was a time in my life when I thought everything was lost. A single moment, a tragic accident left me paralyzed. And in that darkness, I had two choices: to give up or to focus on what I still had. And that's what focus is. It's not just about what you can do. It's about what you choose to do with what you have. So I focused on my voice. I focused on painting my pain into power. I focused on rising, not walking, but rising in a way that no one could ignore. Growth never happens in comfort zones. Growth begins the moment you decide that your pain will not define you. It begins when you say, yes, I am broken, but I am not defeated. I had to grow through the silence, through the stairs, through the struggle. And growth was not easy. It never is. But I learned that true growth is internal. It's when your mindset shifts from a why me to a try me. But try me. Let every failure become your foundation. Let every scar become your story. Let every no become fuel for your next yes. Because when you grow stronger on the inside, the outside world starts to shift. Winning is not always about crossing a finish line first. Winning is about standing back up, even when life knocks you down again and again. I didn't win by walking again. I won by believing again. Believing in myself, believing in my worth, believing that I was not just a survivor, I was a warrior. And so are you. You win every time you choose hope over fear. You win every time you keep going when no one is clapping for you. You win every time you live with courage, compassion, and conviction in life. We often find ourselves measuring our worth based on what we've lost, our missed opportunities, broken dreams, failed relationships, or unexpected setbacks. It's natural to grieve over loss, but the danger lies in staying there. The more we focus on what's no longer with us, the more we drain our energy, our hope, and our capacity to move forward. Yet there is a profound truth that has the power to change your life. The things you have right now, your breath, your mind, your resilience, your experiences, are enough to rebuild everything you think you've lost. It's easy to feel stuck when things fall apart. When life doesn't go as planned, the mind tends to replay what could have been, what should have been. But no matter how many times we revisit the past, it will not change. What can change is what we choose to do with what's left. There's something incredibly powerful about shifting your attention from loss to possibility. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's about accepting reality and deciding to use what's left to create something new. Imagine a painter whose canvas is ruined halfway through their masterpiece. They could cry over what's spoiled, or they could take what remains and turn it into something even more powerful. That's what we all must do with our lives. Our broken pieces are not the end of the story. They are the raw materials for something stronger, something more authentic, something real. But when you begin to focus on what's still in your hands, you start to realize that you are not as powerless as you thought. You have time. You have time. You have will. You have a mind capable of learning, adapting, creating. And most importantly, you have a heart that's still beating, still capable of loving, hoping, and believing. Gratitude plays a vital role in this mindset. When you wake up and look around at what remains, your loved ones, your voice, your talents, your dreams, you start to feel a shift. Gratitude doesn't ignore pain. It acknowledges that even in pain, there is still something to be thankful for. That shift doesn't happen overnight. It takes effort. It takes intention. It takes the courage to let go of the idea that your value is tied to what you used to have. You are not your losses. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are what you do with what's left. Some of the most beautiful stories of resilience come not from people who had everything, but from those who lost so much and chose to rise anyway. They didn't wait for life to be fair. They didn't wait to be rescued. They looked at the small flame still burning within and protected it, nurtured it, and used it to light the path forward. That same strength lives in you. You might not feel it today, but it's there. Every time you take a step despite the fear, every time you get back up after a fall, every time you smile through the tears, you are proving that you have enough to keep going. This world will always have setbacks. There will always be things we lose, moments we can't get back, and circumstances we wish we could change. But what defines us is not what we've lost. It's what we choose to do now with what we have. Right now, you have breath in your lungs. You have the ability to make a choice. And every choice can be a brick that builds a new life. So don't keep counting the cracks in your foundation. Start laying stones over them. Don't keep rereading the last chapter. Turn the page. Don't underestimate the value of what remains. Your story is not over, and the best chapters haven't even been written yet. Start where you are, use what you have, and build something beautiful, not in spite of what you've lost, but because you chose to rise above it. Pain is an inevitable part of life, whether it comes in the form of physical injury, emotional hurt, or a difficult life experience. Pain is something we all encounter at different points in our journey. While it may seem like pain is something to avoid or run from, the truth is that pain holds the potential to transform us in profound ways. If we learn to face it, understand it, and use it, we can turn pain into a powerful force for personal growth, strength, and resilience. The first step in turning pain into power is acknowledging it. Too often, we try to suppress or ignore our pain, thinking that if we avoid it, it will eventually go away. But pain doesn't disappear when we ignore it. It festers and grows, making it harder to heal. Instead of running from pain, we need to face it head-on. This doesn't mean wallowing in it or letting it define us, but it means giving ourselves permission to feel what we are feeling. When we accept pain as part of the human experience, we can begin to process it and move forward. Pain teaches us lessons that we would not otherwise learn. It forces us to look at ourselves and our lives with a new perspective. It helps us understand our limits, our vulnerabilities, and our strengths. Pain also reveals the things we value most. When we experience hardship, we often find that the things we once took for granted, health, relationships, stability, are the things that truly matter. Pain can teach us gratitude for the things we have, and it can help us prioritize what is most important. Moreover, pain is a powerful catalyst for change. Often, we only make significant changes in our lives when we are pushed to the brink. When things are going well, we may feel content and complacent. But when we experience pain, we are forced to reassess, reevaluate, and adapt. Pain pushes us out of our comfort zones and challenges us to grow. It is the fire that forges us, shaping our character and resilience. When we turn our pain into power, we find that it is often the greatest motivator for change, driving us to pursue our goals with a sense of urgency and purpose. Pain also provides us with the opportunity to develop empathy and compassion for others. When we experience pain, we begin to understand the struggles of others on a deeper level. It allows us to connect with people in a way that we could not before. This empathy helps us to offer support and encouragement to others who are going through their own difficult times. By embracing our pain, we become more compassionate and understanding, which in turn strengthens our relationships and enriches our connections with the people around us. The process of turning pain into power requires a shift in mindset. Instead of viewing pain as something to avoid or something that weakens us, we need to reframe it as a source of strength. When we change the way we perceive pain, we open ourselves to the possibility of growth and transformation. Pain does not have to define us, but how we respond to it can. When we take responsibility for our pain and choose to learn from it, we reclaim our power. Resilience is a key aspect of turning pain into power. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to rise after we have fallen, and to keep going even when the road ahead seems uncertain. The more we face and overcome pain, the more resilient we become. Each time we push through a difficult experience, we build mental and emotional strength. This resilience becomes a tool that we can use to face future challenges with confidence and determination. The more we cultivate resilience, the more we are able to navigate life's inevitable struggles with grace and perseverance. Additionally, pain can help us tap into our inner strength. We often don't know how strong we are until we are tested. Pain forces us to dig deep and find resources within ourselves, that we may not have known existed. It is in our moments of greatest struggle that we discover our true capabilities. Pain awakens the strength, determination, and courage that reside within us, allowing us to push through challenges that we would have once thought impossible. In turning pain into power, we also learn the importance of self-care and healing. Pain is a signal that something within us needs attention, whether it's our body, mind, or spirit. When we experience pain, we must give ourselves permission to heal. This may involve seeking help, practicing self-compassion, or taking time to rest and recover. Healing is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. By taking the time to heal, we are better equipped to move forward and use our pain as a source of empowerment. Finally, turning pain into power means choosing to move forward despite it. Pain can hold us back, but it doesn't have to keep us stuck. We have the power to choose how we respond to pain. We can let it define us, or we can use it as fuel to propel us forward. It is when we choose to rise above our pain, to keep going in the face of adversity, that we truly harness its power. By moving forward, we turn pain into a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Pain is a universal experience, but it doesn't have to control us. But if we can learn to face it, accept it, and transform it, we can use it as a powerful force for personal growth. Through pain, we learn more about ourselves, develop resilience, and find the strength to rise above life's challenges. Pain is not the end of the road, it is the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter where we learn, grow, and become the powerful individuals we were always meant to be. There is something incredibly powerful about knowing exactly what you want, why you want it, and where you're going. That kind of certainty has the ability to cut through confusion, fear, and hesitation like a blade. Clarity isn't just a nice idea, it's a force. It gives direction to your actions, purpose to your struggle, and meaning to your efforts. Without clarity, even the most talented person can feel lost. But with it, even the most uncertain path becomes manageable. Most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they don't know what they're aiming for. They spend their days reacting to life instead of creating it. They drift instead of drive. When you have no clear destination, any road can feel exhausting. Every decision becomes a source of stress. You doubt yourself constantly. You start things but don't finish. You look around and see others making progress, and you wonder why you're still stuck. It's not a lack of potential. It's a lack of clarity. When you take the time to pause and ask yourself what truly matters to you, everything begins to change. Clarity creates focus, and focus brings momentum. Once you're clear about your goals, distractions lose their power. You stop saying yes to things that drain you. You stop chasing validation. You stop wasting energy on things that don't align with your vision. You begin to live intentionally, not accidentally. There's a reason clarity is often the first step in any transformation. If you don't know what you want, how will you know when you've arrived? How will you know what to fight for when life gets tough? If your goal is vague, your results will be vague. But when your vision is sharp, your path becomes clearer, even if it's not always easy. Clarity doesn't mean you have all the answers. It doesn't mean the road will be smooth. What it means is that you've chosen a direction. And that choice gives you strength. You start making decisions faster. You stop second-guessing every move. You stop looking for external approval because now you're guided by something stronger. Inner conviction. The beauty of clarity is that it simplifies everything. It removes the noise. It helps you say no without guilt. It gives you boundaries. It gives you energy because your time and attention are no longer scattered. You're not trying to be everything to everyone. You're focused on being true to yourself. But clarity isn't something that just appears. It requires reflection. It takes honesty. Sometimes it takes getting lost first, feeling the pain of being unsure, so you're forced to look deeper. It might come from journaling, solitude, asking yourself tough questions, or learning through trial and error. It's a process, and it's worth every second. When you become clear on who you are and what you stand for, life stops feeling like a random series of events. You begin to see patterns. You begin to recognize opportunities that align with your purpose. You attract the right people. You make better choices. You stop chasing things that were never meant for you in the first place. That's the power of clarity. It brings peace in the middle of chaos. It's easy to think you need more resources, more time, more talent. But what you might really need is more clarity. Because when you know what you're aiming for, the how begins to unfold. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a clear reason, a strong why. That's what drives you through the obstacles. That's what helps you stay focused when the world pulls you in 1,000 directions. The truth is, without clarity, you might still work hard, but it'll feel like running in circles. With clarity, even small steps feel meaningful. Every action counts. Every moment becomes an investment in your future. So ask yourself, right now, what do you really want? Not what others expect. Not what looks good on paper. What you want, what lights you up, what makes you feel alive. Because the moment you get clear on that, everything changes. The fog lifts, the noise fades, and you begin to walk, not with doubt, but with purpose. That's when life starts working with you, not against you. That's when real power is unlocked. Growth is one of those concepts that sounds nice in theory, but when you experience it, you realize that it often comes with discomfort. We've been conditioned to think that growth should be a smooth, pleasant journey, one where the path is clear and the rewards are immediate. The truth is, real growth happens when you're pushed beyond your limits, when things feel uncertain, and when every step forward requires you to step out of your comfort zone. We all love comfort. It feels safe. It feels familiar. But staying in your comfort zone can be one of the biggest obstacles to personal development. Comfort lulls you into a state of complacency, making it harder to challenge yourself or reach for something greater. It's easy to stay where things feel predictable, or you don't have to risk failure, disappointment, or embarrassment. But here's the catch. Nothing extraordinary comes from staying in that space. Peace, the best things in life, the things that truly transform you, are often just on the other side of discomfort. The discomfort of growth is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, and spiritual. It can feel like fear, doubt, and confusion. It can feel like anxiety or even loneliness. And yet, that discomfort is where the magic happens. When you push through, you start to realize that you are capable of so much more than you thought. You discover resilience, strength, and skills you didn't even know you had. Every challenge faced, every obstacle overcome stretches you. It molds you into someone new, someone stronger. Think about the moments in life that caused you the most pain, discomfort, or uncertainty. Whether it was a personal failure, a setback, a loss, or simply a period of change, those were the moments when you learned the most. They were the moments when you grew, even if it didn't feel like it at the time. In hindsight, you can probably see that the hardest experiences shaped your character, made you more compassionate, more determined, and more equipped to handle life's inevitable challenges. Growth through discomfort is not a linear process. It doesn't always happen in a straight line. There are ups and downs, times when you feel like you're making great strides, and times when you feel like you're falling backward. But this is part of the process. There is no growth without struggle. Without discomfort, there is no transformation. It's the pressure that makes a diamond, the heat that turns clay into pottery. You cannot emerge stronger or wiser without first being tested by life's trials. And yet, we often try to avoid discomfort at all costs. We distract ourselves with instant gratification, chase easy wins, and settle for mediocrity because we fear the discomfort of failure, rejection, or hard work. We want the rewards without putting in the sweat, tears, and effort. But true growth requires you to face the hard things. It asks you to challenge your own beliefs, to push through fear, and to keep going when it feels impossible. This is the paradox of growth. In the moments when you feel most like giving up, you are often on the brink of the most significant breakthroughs. The discomfort you're experiencing is your mind and body's way of signaling that you're on the edge of something new, something transformative. It's the point where you decide whether you'll turn back or press forward. If you choose to press forward, you will find that on the other side of discomfort is a version of yourself you never knew existed, more confident, more capable, and more equipped to handle whatever life throws your way. Sometimes growth isn't just about pushing harder. It's about accepting that discomfort is part of the journey. Victory doesn't begin with external circumstances. It doesn't begin with the perfect set of conditions, the right timing, or even the support of others. Victory starts within, in the way we think, the way we view ourselves, and the choices we make in our inner world. The truth is that the most significant victories we experience are the ones we achieve within ourselves. Because once we conquer our inner struggles, we are better equipped to face the challenges that the world presents. Our mindset plays an essential role in determining our success. If we believe that victory is something that happens to us, something that is entirely dependent on the outside world, we will always feel like we are waiting for the right moment, the right opportunity, or the right person to come along. But the reality is, external circumstances will never be perfect, and we will never have complete control over them. What we do have control over, however, is how we perceive ourselves and how we respond to the situations we face. Victory begins when we take ownership of our own mindset and take responsibility for our actions. The first step in winning within is to believe in ourselves. Self-belief is the foundation of all victories, both big and small. When you truly believe that you are capable of achieving your goals, you begin to act in ways that align with that belief. You set higher standards for yourself, take calculated risks, and push through challenges because you know that your ability to succeed comes from within. Without self-belief, no matter how many opportunities you are given, they will not have the same impact. It is your belief in yourself that fuels your actions and propels you towards success. It is also important to recognize that setbacks and failures are part of the journey to victory. The inner battle often comes not from the challenges we face, but from the way we respond to them. Many people become discouraged by failure, seeing it as a sign that they are not good enough or that they will never succeed. But those who understand that victory begins within recognize that failure is a stepping stone to growth. They don't allow failure to define them. Instead, they use it as a tool for learning, growth, and refinement. They realize that every setback is an opportunity to gain strength, wisdom, and resilience. And with each failure, they move closer to their ultimate victory. The power of inner victory lies in our ability to remain determined and resilient, even when things are tough. No, life will throw obstacles in your path, and there will be times when things feel overwhelming. But it is your inner strength, your ability to keep going despite adversity, that determines whether or not you will succeed. It is the inner commitment to your goals that helps you push through the tough times and continue striving forward. The real victory is found in your willingness to persevere when it would be easier to give up. Victory also begins with the thoughts we think and the words we speak. Our thoughts create our reality. When we think positively and believe that we can overcome challenges, we open the door to success. Negative thoughts, on the other hand, create self-doubt and limit our potential. If you constantly tell yourself that you are not good enough, that success is for other people, or that your goals are impossible to achieve, you will create a self-fulfilling prophecy. The first step toward victory is to take control of your thoughts and replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Affirmations, visualizations, and positive self-talk can help reinforce the belief that victory is not only possible, but within your reach. Moreover, your internal dialogue must align with the actions you take. It's not enough to just think positive thoughts. You must back them up with consistent action. Victory is built on the foundation of effort, discipline, and persistence. When you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, and you believe in your ability to get there, you will start making choices that bring you closer to your goals. Every small action, no matter how insignificant it may seem, adds up to a larger result. The key is to stay consistent, stay focused, and never lose sight of your inner vision. Another important aspect of inner victory is the ability to stay focused on the process rather than just the end result. Many people become discouraged because they focus too much on the final destination and not enough on the steps required to get there. Victory is not a one-time event. It's a series of small, consistent wins that add up over time. When you focus on the process, you learn to appreciate the small victories along the way, which in turn boosts your motivation and keeps you moving forward. Embrace the journey, trust the process, and know that every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your ultimate goal. Self-discipline is another critical component of victory within. It's easy to get distracted by external circumstances, by the opinions of others, or by the temptations to take shortcuts. But the real victory comes when you stay true to your vision and continue putting in the work even when no one is watching. Discipline means making the hard choices, staying committed to your goals, and doing what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable. The more disciplined you become, the stronger your inner victory grows, and the closer you get to the success you desire. Victory also begins with a deep sense of purpose. When you have a clear understanding of why you are pursuing your goals, you are more likely to stay motivated and committed. This purpose fuels determination and resilience. When you encounter challenges, it's your purpose that reminds you of why you started in the first place. It keeps you moving forward, even when the road gets tough. A strong sense of purpose gives you the strength to push through obstacles and stay focused on what truly matters. Victory begins within because it is our inner world that shapes our outer reality. Your mindset, your beliefs, your actions, and your purpose all create the foundation for the success you desire. When you believe in yourself, embrace setbacks as opportunities for growth, stay disciplined, and maintain a sense of purpose, you empower yourself to achieve victory in any area of your life. The most powerful victories are the ones that come from within. Waiting for the perfect day moment is one of the greatest barriers to progress. Many people hold back from starting something new because they believe that the right conditions are not yet in place, whether it's the right amount of money, time, resources, or experience. This desire to wait for the perfect set of circumstances can leave you paralyzed, never taking that first step toward your dreams. The truth is, perfect conditions rarely exist. And if you wait for them, you may find yourself waiting forever. Progress comes when you choose to act, even if the conditions are not ideal. One of the biggest misconceptions about success is that it comes from having everything perfectly aligned. People often think that in order to start something, they need to have all their questions answered, all the resources available, and all the confidence in the world. But the reality is that no one ever has all the answers. Every journey begins with uncertainty, and every success story is filled with moments of doubt, mistakes, and learning through trial and error. No one has the perfect blueprint for success. They simply begin. They take the first step, and the rest unfolds from there. The key to breaking through this mindset is recognizing that starting is more important than perfection. The act of beginning, even if you don't have everything figured out, sets momentum in motion. It's the difference between standing still and moving forward. When you wait for ideal conditions, you remain stagnant. The longer you wait, the more time slips away, and the more opportunities pass you by. On the other hand, when you take action, even in the midst of uncertainty, you create new opportunities, learn, adapt, and make progress. The process of starting before you are ready is about embracing the unknown. When you start, you immediately gain experience. You learn what works, what doesn't, and what you need to improve. These lessons come only when you take action. They don't come from planning, thinking, or waiting for things to be perfect. You can only figure out the best way forward by actually doing. Each step you take, even if it's a small one, provides new insights, skills, and connections that help you improve as you go. Another aspect of waiting for perfect conditions is the fear of failure. Many people hesitate to start because they are afraid of making mistakes or falling short of their expectations. But the truth is, failure is an essential part of success. You cannot avoid failure, and trying to avoid it by waiting for the perfect conditions only delays your progress. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn and grow. The sooner you start, the sooner you get to experience those failures, learn from them, and refine your approach. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about using failure as a stepping stone towards success. Moreover, waiting for perfect conditions often means you're waiting for the external world to change, but the world will rarely give you permission to take action. Life is unpredictable, and the external factors that you think need to align perfectly may never do so. External circumstances, whether it's the economy, the timing, or other people's opinions, are out of your control. What you can control is your decision to act. Don't let external conditions dictate your progress. Instead, focus on what you can do now with what you have and make the most of it. When you take the initiative to start, even if the conditions aren't perfect, you create your own momentum. You begin to see that every small action compounds over time. What may seem like a small step in the beginning can turn into something much bigger over time. The momentum you build by simply starting can carry you through the challenges that inevitably arise. And with that momentum comes confidence. Every time you take action, even imperfectly, you prove to yourself that you are capable, that you can navigate uncertainty, and that you can keep going even when things don't go as planned. Another important aspect of starting without waiting for perfection is the concept of progress over perfection. Perfectionism can be paralyzing. It makes you feel like if things aren't done exactly right, they're not worth doing at all. But perfectionism often leads to procrastination. You delay starting because you're waiting for everything to be just right. And by the time you've crafted the perfect hit plan, months or even years may have passed. In the end, that time could have been spent making mistakes, learning, and improving, rather than endlessly waiting for the perfect set of conditions to fall into place. And starting before you feel completely ready requires courage, but it also requires faith in the process. It requires trusting that you can learn as you go, that you will figure things out along the way, and that the act of starting itself is valuable. The more you take action, the more confidence you build in your own ability to adapt and make things work, even when things are far from perfect. The world rewards action. It doesn't reward waiting, hoping, or wishing for the perfect moment. If you want to create change in your life, you have to create it. Don't wait for things to be easy. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start now, where you are with what you have. The act of starting, even in the midst of uncertainty, will begin to shape the future you've been dreaming of. And along the way, you'll discover that perfection was never the goal. Growth, learning, and progress were. So don't wait for the perfect conditions to start. Take that first step, even if it's messy, even if it's uncertain, and let the process unfold. The moment you start is the moment your journey begins.
Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world, and it determines how you respond to the challenges and opportunities that come your way. It shapes the decisions you make, the actions you take, and ultimately the progress you experience in your life. No matter how talented, skilled, or resourceful you are, your mindset has the power to either propel you toward success or hold you back from reaching your potential. The truth is, your mindset determines your progress more than any external factor ever could. There are two primary types of mindsets that people typically adopt: a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Those with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities, intelligence, and talents are static. It's something they are either born with or not. They see challenges as threats, failures as personal shortcomings, and success as something that happens to only a select few. They avoid situations where they might fail, and they find comfort in staying within their limits. On the other hand, individuals with a growth mindset believe that their abilities can be developed over time through dedication, effort, and learning. They embrace challenges as opportunities to grow, view failures as stepping stones to success, and understand that progress comes from hard work and perseverance. The difference between these two mindsets is monumental. A fixed mindset will lead you to plateau because it limits your belief in what you can achieve. It tells you that you've reached your peak and that any effort beyond that is futile. But a growth mindset opens up a world of possibility. It invites you to step into the unknown, to try new things, to fail and learn, and to keep moving forward, no matter how many setbacks you face. This mindset fuels resilience. It teaches you that every challenge is an opportunity for growth, every failure a lesson to be learned, and every success a reflection of the hard work you've put in. Your mindset impacts how you handle adversity. Life is full of setbacks, obstacles, and unexpected hurdles. When faced with adversity, a fixed mindset will make you feel defeated. You might start to believe that you're not cut out for success, or that the world is somehow against you. But with a growth mindset, you learn to embrace adversity as a necessary part of the journey. You see challenges as opportunities to stretch your capabilities and to find creative solutions. Instead of seeing failure as something that defines you, you view it as a lesson, an essential part of the learning process that brings you closer to achieving your goals. The way you talk to yourself, your inner dialogue, also plays a significant role in shaping your mindset. When you believe that you are capable of growth, you speak to yourself with encouragement and optimism. You say things like, "I can do this, even if it takes time," or "I might not be where I want to be yet, but I'm making progress." This positive self-talk reinforces the belief that growth is possible, even in the face of challenges. In contrast, a fixed mindset might cause you to say, I'll never be good enough, or I'm just not built for this. This kind of thinking holds you back and creates a mental barrier that limits your potential. Your mindset also determines your ability to take risks. Risks. Progress requires you to step out of your comfort zone and try things that feel uncomfortable or unfamiliar. If you have a growth mindset, you understand that taking risks is a part of the process and that even if you fail, the experience will be valuable. You're not afraid to make mistakes because you know that mistakes are simply part of the learning curve. However, a fixed mindset keeps you in a place of stagnation, making you afraid to take risks because you fear failure or judgment. When you avoid risks, you avoid growth. One of the most powerful aspects of a growth mindset is the belief in effort.
People with this mindset understand that success doesn't come from natural talent alone. It comes from consistent effort, learning, and improvement over time. They believe that their actions are what determine their future, not their circumstances or inherent abilities.
This belief empowers them to keep going, even when the journey gets tough. They know that if they put in the work, they will continue to improve and progress, no matter how many obstacles they face along the way. Your mindset also influences how you view success. Those with a fixed mindset may see success as a reflection of their worth, which makes it difficult to handle failure. If they don't succeed, they feel like they've failed as a person. In contrast, those with a growth mindset see success as a byproduct of effort and improvement. They know that success isn't about being perfect, it's about continuous learning and growing. This perspective allows them to celebrate small wins, stay motivated, and remain focused on the long-term goal, even when progress is slow. Ultimately, your mindset shapes your relationship with progress. When you adopt a growth mindset, you stop seeing progress as a destination and start viewing it as a lifelong journey. You realize that progress isn't about perfection, it's about improvement, no matter how incremental. With this mindset, setbacks don't discourage you, failures don't define you.
Instead, you see them as temporary obstacles that you can overcome with persistence and resilience. The more you focus on growth and progress rather than perfection, the more likely you are to achieve your goals and realize your potential.
Your mindset, then, is not just a reflection of how you see the world. It's a reflection of how you approach your life. It's the driving force behind everything you do. So, if you want to make progress, you have to start by changing the way you think. Embrace the idea that growth is possible, that challenges are opportunities, and that your efforts will determine your success. With this mindset, you can break through any barrier, conquer any challenge, and achieve far more than you ever thought possible.